I were an English teacher right now, I would give this person a really bad grade for this article. We gotta adapt.
Yeah, maybe we need to pivot into photography. So,
Do you think this article was written by AI?
but I wouldn't expect from my plumber to install a new socket.
You gotta pivot. No one wants to pay for plumbing anymore.
Nightmare. I would rather than just switch careers.
You're saving the client money at your expense.
Yeah, who's saving us money? Who's giving us
Who
money?
is saving us money in this economy?
You're gonna burn out, but how to
own it. Own it. Don't burn out, just own it.
Yeah, okay, let's see.
Okay, so I thought I saw this article. I think we're subscribed to Creative Boom. It's like a newsletter for creative people, I guess. And I saw this article and I thought it was funny because it basically says the opposite of what we say a lot on the podcast and also on our YouTube channel. Like, I don't know, we have so many videos about niching down, positioning and all that and why it's important. And then this article kind of says the complete opposite of that. So I thought it would be funny if we would do a YouTube video, and I guess we can also post this on as a podcast about our reaction towards this.
So the article, as you already mentioned, is about like creative generalists and why it's actually better than a specialist.
Yeah, and they even posted something on their Instagram with the words like something along the lines of stop niching down and be a generalist instead.
Okay. They're pushing this narrative.
They are really pushing this narrative, so I just thought it would be interesting to see what they have to say, since it's the opposite of what we always say, or kind of, I don't know. At least at first glance, it seems like it's the opposite.
Maybe we'll change our minds after this.
Maybe, let's see.
Okay, so...
Wait, look, they say, like, forget the pressure to niche down. In 2025, versatility is the real flex.
Okay.
Okay, it's a flex to be a generalist, I guess.
Let's start with the first
paragraph, yeah. Howard, do you have something to say about this first sentence?
Wait,
okay, sorry. Okay, so the first part I think when I skimmed through this the first time, it was also the thing that caught my eye, and then I kind of couldn't take the entire article seriously because of the second sentence actually. And they write, in an industry shaken by budget cuts, AI disruption, and shifting client needs, being multi-skilled in 2025 is no longer a compromise, it's an advantage. But the thing that this sentence tells me is that people don't want to spend money on creative work. They want to save money where they can. And the way they're doing that is using people as much as they can. And how do you use someone? You hire someone who can do 5 things and have them do those 5 things and pay them for one of those things, instead of hiring 5 different people who are skilled at those 5 different things, and everyone is not overworked, not doing too many things for a low wage. And that's why I find the whole article unserious, because it's like this foundation of it's a good thing to be taken advantage of.
I agree with you, of course. I just also interpret it a different way here, because being multi-skilled does not equal being a generalist for me. I am multi-skilled, doesn't mean I do everything.
Yeah, but it says those who prefer to juggle illustration, web design, photography, and a bit of copy on the side might just be built for this new era.
Okay, I did not I did not take that
so
sentence.
In the next sentence, they're also
listing
2, 3, 4 different careers. And
fair.
saying you should be able to do all of those 4 things to thrive in an environment where companies don't want to spend a lot of money.
No, I get it.
So it reiterates kind of what I was just like saying before.
I mean, if I just take myself, I would say I'm okay at photography. I could do web design. I cannot do copy unless with ChatGPT. Illustration I cannot do either. So even just these 2 disciplines of web design and photography, they are so entirely different. If they would have told me like print design and web design, I would have been like, yeah, okay, understood. But photography is a whole other genre of skills that you need to have.
I feel like illustration is completely different.
I don't know. I don't even know how this should all fit into one umbrella, but okay, let's continue.
Yeah, I mean, the next paragraph just kind of reiterates that. And then my next issue, did you read this far or should we read it?
No, how are you this quick? Okay,
wait. This just repeats what it's already said.
Okay, no, I have to read through this just a second.
Let's go through it again. feel like they reiterate this whole thing again, putting a positive spin on something that I personally think is a negative thing, which is using people and paying people unfair wages and expecting them to be able to do 10 different things by saying clients are asking more from fewer suppliers, timelines are compressed, and they're saying like the industry needs to evolve to that and adapt to that. I don't think that we should be compromising our prices or our value just because the industry doesn't want to pay us what we are worth. And by adapting to that, and they're saying we need to become generalists to adapt to this new economic situation is wrong in my opinion.
Mine too. Well, I'm just gonna be here agreeing. Also, I think that the analogy isn't correct. They're saying, and when the entire motorway is under construction, lane discipline becomes less relevant than adaptability. Sure, but a construction is a limited thing, whereas economic shifts, I don't consider them as limited in a sense of, I do think that you have to adapt.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
But again, for me, this does not like being a general. Just because you niche down doesn't mean that you cannot be adaptable within your own niche.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like I don't need to like take up photography now so I can stay relevant in this industry. And frankly, I don't want to. I don't want to work in an industry where I suddenly have to like set up a new PC, then go and buy new photography gear, and then I run, and I don't know, then I become...
And you have to write an article for something.
Exactly, then I write an article, then I set up a newsletter program for someone else, and then then I do the laundry for someone else because I'm a generalist now. I don't know. I do agree you need to be adaptable, but this is also the nature of being a freelancer.
And you need to be multi-skilled, but I don't think you need to have multiple careers in one.
That's what I meant. Being
that's what they're saying here.
Exactly. Being multi-skilled does not equal to being a generalist for me. I would say I'm multi-skilled, but that doesn't mean I'm doing everything and I'm executing everything. And that's for a reason, because being multi-skilled has taught me that I cannot be good at everything. I can understand things, and I can maybe use that to apply it in my niche, but my niche is already big enough. Like web design, like UX, UI design as a discipline is already so huge that adding photography on top of that, and I don't know, front-end development and whatever they want you to add to it, is just insane to me. But yeah, okay, let's continue.
Let's go to the next section.
Nightmare. I would rather than just switch careers. If I have to do this, what they suggest, I don't know. I would rather just...
Which one? What are they suggesting?
Because maybe it triggered me because I really don't want to do social content. So when a client needs both brand strategy and social content, they can deliver both.
Generalists can deliver both.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I also think that's a problem. Just because I think there are people out there that could do those two things. Brand strategy, social content is not so like far apart from each other. I think you can do those two things and still niche down. That can still be your niche. However, I don't think that we should be promoting like one area of work dries up, okay, pivot to another area of work. To me, that's just, yes, multiple income streams, because this whole paragraph starts with multiple income streams. I still don't think that should be your business strategy, to just pivot between 5 different careers, you know, like depending on what clients currently need from you, or like what clients are coming to you, because you're constantly pivoting depending on the market, instead of having some control over that by positioning, niching down, marketing within your positioning. You're just kind of always adapting to what's going on around you instead of like trying to control the situation.
Also, you're giving everything outside the power over you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's not you're not doing business, you're just like being bumped around by the current market situation.
Yeah, and usually you're not big enough to do that. Like, let's say, for example, I'm just saying things like product. For example, if you're a camera company and the sales for cameras are drying up, cannot just like, okay, I'm gonna, since it's drying up a little bit, I'm gonna pivot into, I don't know, making TVs. Since that's drying up, I'm gonna make farm equipment. I don't know, like, sure, big companies do that after a while. We had like Nokia first doing something else, and doing phones, and doing more, but as they scaled up, like big agencies are generalists because they have a specialist sitting there doing the work
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's problematic. I get what they're trying to say here. It's like be adaptable and be flexible. I do agree that you have to be adaptable and flexible no matter the economic situation, because context and variables can always change. So that's something you need to be. But that doesn't mean just because you're adaptable that you should become the person for everything. So if the client comes, oh, I can do product photography. Yeah, of course. Can you do my new newsletter copy? Yeah, sure. Like, it's also work that I personally wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, but I think you shouldn't become this person for everything, because then you know what happens is you're doing all this different like busy work, all these different types of things. The value of those individual things starts to go down or gets forgotten. Like, I remember when I was working as a graphic designer part time. And they wanted me to do like a logo and a whole branding, and like the value of that is huge, and it was also huge for them, but I was still being paid my like part-time wage, which was so low. And like all the other stuff I was doing was like fine, like presentation decks, like internal graphic design stuff, but then to like expect a logo and a branding for basically peanuts. And that's what happens when you're a generalist, in my opinion, or in a lot of situations, especially when you're employed somewhere. The overall value of each individual skill goes down. Yeah.
Nothing to add to that.
Okay, so let's talk about the doctor. They use a doctor analogy like here, saying doctors don't specialize immediately. They get a good grounding in all kinds of things for years before potentially specializing. Weird way to frame that, because I think they would specialize, but whatever. Equally, how could it ever not be useful to understand both design and also business development, print, marketing, behavioral science, and sales? I agree with some of the things being said here, and some of them I don't agree with. So first of all, I don't agree with if you're a digital designer, I don't see the value in understanding print at all. I think that a lot of the concepts you learn as a print designer, you also learn as a digital designer, but you don't need to like know both to be good at one or the other. Understanding business development, marketing, sales, behavioral science, I think only makes sense if you are self-employed. I think if you're someone who's looking for a career somewhere and you want to be employed somewhere, you don't necessarily need to understand those things.
Yeah,
I don't really understand are we talking only about self-employed generalists?
I think so.
Here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, but then I would feel that way about any business person, obviously. But again, this doesn't have to do with the first part of this article, which was talking about being a generalist, as in having like 5 different creative skills that are not related to one another.
No, because these are not creative skills. These are like skills.
Business skills
and strategic and conceptual skills.
Yeah. Like,
this has not a lot to do. I mean, of course, there's also like execution, but if you're talking about execution as in on the job, like web design execution, photography execution, I don't know, of course, behavioral science and sales and business is something you need to acquire, like a general understanding, but I don't think you need to have the most in-depth knowledge about these things to actually be able to have a freelance business.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
Like, you should know the basics, of course, but that doesn't mean just knowing basics. Does that mean you're a generalist? Like, I think I'm kind of missing the point of what it means to them to be a generalist, because for me this means to be like, I understand things because I've dabbled in them, and I think that that's normal. Before you niche down, that you are first looking for the disciplines that you like the most. But at the same time, I guess I'm confused about their definition of a generalist.
They say it in the paragraph above. I think that's the definition they're going by. The new generalist isn't someone who does everything poorly. They're someone who applies deep creative thinking across multiple disciplines with competence and confidence, which I think some people can do. I'm not saying it's impossible. The thing I take issue with that is that even those people who are able to do that usually are not charging what they should be charging for those things, and that the people also seeking services from one of these individuals are usually not willing to pay for the value of that, or rarely. And that's the issue I take with the whole generalist topic.
And also, I think just because you're good at I don't know how to say, like the mental work, like in a sense of your knowledge that you have like acquired, doesn't mean you can execute it.
Yes,
like,
that's true.
Like, I think that you can have a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas, and I think that you should actually have them, and you should be able to apply that knowledge into different disciplines. But I don't think that means that you can actually execute it. For example, I think I have potentially now a lot of knowledge about UX and UI design. Could I execute it? Yeah, probably, if I like really take my time and relearn some things. But just because I have the knowledge, I cannot now now sit down and do like a whole e-commerce store.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just don't think. I don't think it's that easy. Like copy paste your knowledge into execution work.
I agree. I think it makes you a good project manager for those things, but not necessarily someone who can execute it.
Yeah, or like a director. Yeah, like a management position, like that you can then maybe hire a specialist to do that work,
because direct a specialist. Yeah.
Direct a specialist, because you know the knowledge of it, but you don't know how to execute it. I cannot imagine being like good at executing UX design, UI design, then web development, but to the point where the client is like, this is quality work. Not just like some kind of taped things together, something I've learned here and there, and then it somehow looks presentable to the client, like something really long-term, sustainable and usable.
Yeah. Then also the doctors don't specialize immediately, and then they specialize after years, and then later down there's a similar thing about it's always a good thing to be a generalist first, and then it's a way to enrich your perspective and refine your taste. I agree with those things. I think it does make sense to kind of try a lot of different things, and yes, doctors learn like a foundation of medicine, and then they will try a lot of different specialties and they'll pick one. And I think it's similar with us, like with design. Design is like this an overreaching term for many different things that we do in the creative industry. There's interior design, there's product design, there's graphic design. And a lot of the things can be applied to all those different things like proportion and space and I don't know, like having an eye for stuff, that is something that can be applied to like many different things. And then you specialize for one, and then you're really good at one thing or like a few things. Like that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too.
And I think like when you meet other designers, even though they're doing something completely different to you, you would still have like a similar eye for things, and you have like a similar, because you both have that foundation of like what is design and what looks good, what doesn't look good. So that makes sense to me. I just think it's weird that this person worded it like potentially specializing. I'm pretty sure doctors always specialize.
The general practitioners.
But it's still a specialty, because your specialty is like figuring out like where to send you and like what like potential treatments you might need, like what other doctor you might need. You know?
I mean, also correct me if I'm wrong, both of them imply that at some point you will specialize.
I know.
It's like both of them are like, everyone's generalist first and then becomes a specialist, potentially becomes a specialist. And
I know. It actually totally goes against the rest of the article, you're right.
Yeah, that's a bit also here
generalist skills make you better at everything.
No, because you have an understanding of what the specialists you hire actually do.
Yeah, so it's like you still hire a specialist.
I'm so confused.
It's like what you were saying, like someone who's a generalist will know who to hire and then also how to direct them.
Yeah.
So generalist isn't somebody who's good at executing every single thing they understand.
Yeah, you could maybe sell the service, sure, but
I feel like I'm gonna have a huge problem with the next section.
Really?
Okay, just based off of the the subheading. Why clients love a one-stop shop.
I got the gist of it. Okay, I skimmed it, so if I'm a skimmer, it's a bit problematic.
The first part is just like the same issue I took with the start of this article, which is like budget constraints and tight timelines mean clients increasingly value efficiency. That's totally fine. I don't have a problem with efficiency. But then it goes on to say like if you can handle brand identity, motion graphics, where I feel like motion graphics is like a completely different thing to brand identity, but okay. Social content strategy, you're not just saving them money, you're saving them the coordination headache of managing multiple suppliers. Look, I don't have a problem with you saying, yes, I can handle all of these things, which also comes like further down in this section, and then figuring it out for the client. I think that's valuable. I think that's a good thing to do if you want to take on the management of that. What I don't think is a good thing is that they are promoting this like you're saving the client money at your expense.
Yeah, who's saving us money? Who's giving us money?
Who is saving us money in this economy? Like we are the charity for the clients who are suffering in this economy and cannot pay for their brand identity. Meanwhile, I can't pay for my rent.
Yeah.
Like how is that fair?
Because I was like, I don't know how to say like
we're the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, it's like going down and we're like, what you're saying, we're at the bottom of the food chain. Of course, we have to adapt the most. It's like, I take the same issues with this as you do.
It's just such a bad message to be promoting. And they have a second article about this, which I feel like I don't think we need to go into it in this video, but it just seems like these two articles came out within this like 2 months of each other, and then I've also have Instagram posts about like don't niche down, be a generalist. So I just feel like it's a weird thing to be promoting in this economy where people are already suffering, and now they're like telling us as people who are also like don't have the money to invest in our own businesses and whatever, we now have to be the charity for these other people who can't invest in their business.
Also, they're acting like pivoting is easy.
Yeah, that too.
Like pivoting from one discipline to the other is not an easy task to do.
Yeah.
Because again, if we're talking about managing, it's different. If we're talking about execution, it's a whole other story. And I'm assuming they're talking about freelancers and not like bigger companies that can afford to have a specialist or to like...
No, because they must be talking about freelancers because agencies already are generalists. They already are a 360
yeah,
solution.
Makes sense. Yeah,
because they have lots of people for each different thing.
Yeah. Okay, the next thing, as we've grown our practice and expertise, we have seen that niching down comes with its own caveats and limitations, he reveals. Our range of work and capabilities are quite diverse, and that's been a strength. As the landscape evolves, we see a need to continue to become generalists. They're talking about a team, no? Am I going crazy now?
No, it is a team, yeah. Or, I don't know, let's check this company quick. Okay,
there's a team.
It's a team, yeah.
But that's a completely... Okay.
I know.
Okay, let's go into it again. So if you have a team, of course it's different because you can afford to buy specialists. So you can afford to offer across different disciplines. So if you have an ad agency, they also offer web design, development, and whatever, because it makes sense. They have a team for it. If you're alone as a freelancer, it's unhinged to offer, I don't know, all the disciplines that they have, like motion graphics, brand identity, copy, photography. It's just like, I just don't see how that should be possible for a single person to execute. It's really not healthy. Also.
I don't think it's healthy. I also think the second person here that they take an example of is someone who says over the years it hasn't just been design, it's included all sorts of things from setting up email accounts on their various devices to building the wiring looms for their exhibition stands as a response to them basically saying yes when the client asks, can you do XYZ? I personally think it's not healthy to have basically, at least I'm just assuming this from what they've said, zero boundaries on your services, because I'm sorry, but doing design but then also building the wiring looms for exhibition stands is crazy. Like,
this is a single person.
This is one person. Yeah, this is one person, and I feel like it's fine if they're fine doing this and they have fun and they're making money doing this. If they're also making good money doing this, I think it's fine. I'm never gonna tell someone like don't do that, like niche down, you have to niche down, whatever. I just think that this isn't a healthy thing to promote.
No, it's I think it's kind of like similar as like if there is this edge case person who can do multiple things well and is like thriving in that field, and you just take an example of that. Okay, so this is what I should promote now. When it's actually, if you have a product, like usually companies start out with one product, like they start down with their niche, then they have like a target group, and there is very, very seldom that there is a company without funds, because if you start out as a freelancer, you usually are not backed with tons of money.
Yeah.
Then if you have a product, you usually start with one product as well. You don't like start a whole ass product range in different categories. Like that also makes no sense as product developer. I'm like, it's across disciplines. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I see they do have some criticism to that, I think, in the next section. Because I was going to say, like, it sounds like this person is just saying yes to everything, which is something we used to do too, because we were like, oh, we don't want to lose the client or whatever. Mm-hmm. What I think does make sense is to say yes and be like, yes, I can manage this for you, and I'll look for somebody to do this work for you. That's different than being the one like at the exhibition stand doing the wiring. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like if you have an understanding how it works and you know a specialist to do,
or you're interested in reading into it and like learning about it and then hiring someone you think is fit for it. I think it's also okay. This is something we used to do all the time, and it's something we talked about a lot on the podcast, is to be like, oh yeah, we can do that, and we figured it out later.
Yeah, but it was
within our field.
Field, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think that niching down means that you are like just gonna, I'm just saying one thing, gonna push one pixel from left to right and that's your niche.
Yeah, no.
Your niche, if you say, for example, digital design would be a niche for me, a specialization, meaning there's so many disciplines within digital design. It's not as restrictive as they make it out to be.
I know. You can go so deep into it too that it's not even like there's so much you can learn in every single field too.
Exactly.
It's not like you're limiting yourself.
Yeah, so I don't even think you need to like jump complete disciplines in order to be an actual generalist within the field.
Okay, this is the last section, so we're like coming to the end of the article. So let's see what their final thoughts are. How to own it without burning out. I also find the wording in this article extremely problematic because it's all like toxic positivity. How to own it, you know? Weird.
You're gonna burn out, but how to
own it. Own it. Don't burn out, just own it.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Okay, stop right here.
Did you read the second paragraph?
Yes.
Okay.
What confuses me with this whole article is that I'm a great believer that as a creative, you should be able to turn your hand to most areas of design, but within reason. I agree.
Yeah, I also agree.
I can't do 3D design and detailed coding. I agree. But I have the knowledge of them, and if I use someone with that expertise, ding, 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 I'll have an understanding of what's involved in the process. But that doesn't mean I'm a generalist.
No, it doesn't. It also means you're still hiring experts. So who are the people getting hired here, and who are the people doing the work? It's the experts. And the generalists are just the ones managing it. Obviously, that's also work, and they're being paid for that part. Totally fine, makes sense. But there's still the expert at the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's continue. We've been through this. I'm not gonna rant about this again. Market. Okay, it's saying. I was also confused. So someone is a marketing director, blah blah blah, and this person is saying, "I've worked in marketing for 25 years now, but never specialized in anything in particular. I've just tried a bit of everything, and that's been an advantage."
Okay, I feel like that doesn't really say anything.
That says nothing.
It's saying a lot without saying anything.
I've worked 25 years in design, and I've never specialized in it. What does it even mean? Trying a little bit of everything, and that's been an advantage.
It's a marketing person too, so I feel like that's different than design. Because at the beginning of this article, they were talking about designers, illustration, web design, photography.
Yeah,
and now suddenly we're talking
about marketing.
I don't know about anything about marketing, so I can't really speak to that. But I feel like it doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the article.
But wait, I have general knowledge about marketing.
Yeah.
Does it mean we should offer marketing services now?
Let's offer marketing, so we can pivot in case no one wants our graphic design services anymore.
Okay, the next one.
This one's even worse.
Really?
It's more unhinged, yeah. I think so.
Can you sum it up? I don't want to read it.
Okay, so this person says that, well, actually, I don't have a problem so much with what this person says, the one they're quoting. I just have a problem with the first sentence of this. Range creates resilience and can be good for your work-life balance too. This is a general statement, and they're treating this like it's the rule, and then they take someone with a very specific situation that is very specific to them and their needs and their disability, and they're applying it to this general rule they've established, and they're using them as like a person as an example to what's it called, unterstützen.
To support
this general rule, but it doesn't make sense because the person they're using is not the general rule. Okay, so let's talk about this person for a second. They said they are disabled with fluctuating and unpredictable health issues, so their body doesn't work always, and having different things that they do every day means they can choose between one of those things that they have the energy for, and they have the flexibility to adapt to that without burning out. Totally legit, and I think that makes total sense for this person.
But I also don't think that the two things listed that she's doing are so...
They are not that far apart from
because
each
you
other.
need that...
She's an illustrator and a workshop facilitator.
But you can be like... Is she giving illustration workshops? Because I feel like they don't give like details on it.
I feel like even if it isn't illustration workshops, I still feel like those are two things that someone can be good at. Like we do like our educational formats don't have anything to do with web design. You know, it's still something like you can be good at teaching something or like planning stuff and then also good at some execution work, you know? My issue is when people are talking about doing execution work, that's like completely different. So like illustration, web design, photography, those are like three different, very different execution.
Yeah, and workshop
styles.
is not really connected to your skills as an illustrator.
Exactly.
You can use your skills as an illustrator to, I don't know, illustrate your course material, whatever, but you don't necessarily need them to be able to be a workshop facilitator. You need different skill sets for that.
Yeah. I don't think that. Also, they're also saying Annie McGee, which is the person that we're talking about right now, explains how being multidisciplinary actually enables sustainability. But what she's saying here doesn't say that at all. She's talking about her very specific situation, and she's talking about something that, in my opinion, isn't very multidisciplinary. I guess it's multidisciplinary in terms of you have the execution work and then you have like something that's more planning, but we're still not talking about a generalist approach here, in my opinion.
Also, it's not within the design.
It has nothing to do with sustainability, I'm sorry.
And it's not really within the design industry. Workshops, they're like more education industry. That's a different industry, in my opinion, than being an illustrator.
I guess it enables sustainability for her in terms of her fluctuating energy and like being able to do something.
Yeah, maybe we should also clarify. I think you should diversify your income, but it's not an either-or equation here. You can diversify your income within your niche also. You don't need to be a generalist to diversify your income.
They say a lot of conflicting things here. This example they're bringing in now, which is for me a better example of what they were saying earlier in the article about diversifying income, because this person obviously has income from being an illustrator and also facilitating workshops. Makes sense, very positive thing to do. Not only for her like situation, but just two income streams makes sense. Diversifying income. The example they showed before about diversifying income, I don't think that represented that well. Plus, they were also talking about pivoting to different niches when the market asks for it or the client asks for it, which I don't think is good advice. Because that would be like telling this person, okay, when no one's coming to you for illustration, offer them web design. When they don't want web design anymore, offer them photography. Like that's just weird, and that's what the article was saying before.
Yeah, because illustration and workshop I don't see as really, I don't know, for me
it's not conflicting.
It's not as conflicting as the top parts, and I have a hard time explaining why in my own words. In my head it makes sense.
So in short, your breadth of skills is no longer a consolation prize for not being focused enough. It's preparation for an industry that demands creativity, adaptability, and the ability to see the bigger picture.
Okay, so first they give the construction thing, which is like a temporary thing, and now this is the new industry, the new era.
In a world where AI can handle the technical execution, human generalists who can think strategically across disciplines aren't becoming obsolete, they're becoming indispensable.
Okay, that paragraph, the AI thing, yes, it was mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
But this conclusion has nothing to do with the article. Hear me out what I mean. Because they were not saying before that, okay, you can just handle the technical execution with an AI, with being this generalist. They were saying hire a specialist, or you become you have a generalist first, and you become potentially a specialist. And now here they are saying, in a world where AI can handle the technical execution, it's not as good yet to handle technical executions for all the disciplines listed. Human generalists who can think strategically across discipline aren't becoming obsolete. They're becoming indispensable. I feel like this is a whole different conclusion.
It has nothing, like honestly, if I were an English teacher right now, I would give this person a really bad grade for this article, because the conclusion has nothing, they didn't build up to this conclusion.
No, that's
there was nothing in the article about AI. Like it was mentioned it was mentioned like in a time where AI and but it wasn't like AI is doing this and can do this and this and this, and now you have to be able to do this and this and this, and this is why it's good to be a generalist, because then like this conclusion, whatever, like there was nothing built up like that.
Conclusion has nothing to do with the rest of the article, because
I also think this paragraph before, which is also like a mini conclusion for some of the things they were talking about, also isn't a conclusion to what they were saying, because the ability to see the bigger picture, that's a skill that everybody should have, regardless if you have niche down or not.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with being a generalist or not being a generalist. Also, an industry that demands creativity, has always been that way. Adaptability has always been that way. We've always been adapting. Typographers used to literally put the little thingies in the machine and then like press like a newspaper. It's not like that anymore. Like they do it on the computer. Those typographers that were around during the time when that changed had to adapt. And it's the same with us. Like AI is here now, right now. What are we doing with it? We adapt with it. This has always been true. This is nothing new. Like, and why does that lead to then the conclusion of let's all just be generalists and let AI do the work? Because that's what they're saying in the final conclusion.
Yeah, but that's a whole ass other article and a whole other topic to talk about, because I think that that's a more interesting take than the rest they had.
I know, yeah.
Because that's something else where you're like, okay, I have general understanding about these things, and then I can prompt something and it executes, and I have like a semi-okay product.
Yeah.
That's a whole different discussion. I'm not even going to consider the final paragraph.
No, and I also think let's just go back to the initial, I mean, I don't know if this was just clickbait to piss people off like us, but forget the pressure to niche down. Versatility is the real flex. That is their actual opinion, or is it just a clickbait title?
No, I have no idea. They're contradicting themselves so much.
They do contradict themselves because they say later that experts are the ones being hired
the
generalists.
I'm pretty sure this person is actually like a journalist and not actually a photographer who's writing this article.
I think this person got lobbied by the people paying designers who don't want to pay for 5 different people.
Read this.
Specializing in design and creativity.
Interesting. So this is a freelance writer who specializes, an editor specializing in design and creativity. This website is about design and creativity, and this person is a freelance writer specializing in it.
Yeah. So why are they promoting generalists? Wait, who wrote the other article? Is it the same person? Yeah, it's the same person. This is the one we didn't go through.
No.
But same energy. Is the age of the specialist over in creative agencies? Creative leaders discuss how generalists with depth and good taste are becoming the industry's most valuable players. They were really promoting this idea that niching down is over. That's so last year. And 2025 is the year of generalists. And the reasoning, which came up in this article so many times, and that's why I find it problematic, is budgets are lower, so you need to lower your standards. That's what that says to me, this whole article.
I think that
then at the end it even rubs in the salt in the wound that AI is replacing you and you need to get on board.
Okay, the AI thing is I feel like a different topic. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there is already Fiverr out there. So if I want something super cheap and quick or whatever, if I want something super cheap, I can go on Fiverr and find someone doing a logo or doing a branding for whatever, 50 euros. And then I do a website for 100 euros. I can find that all. I feel like Fiverr is a good example of a generalist platform. Search engine, I don't know, like you can find
it's a source where you could get that type of work.
Exactly. So if I have several issues, I get it, maybe you want to work with one person, whatever, but you can find all that services on that platform if you want to get it for cheap. But people want to get quality work, and quality comes with expertise. Like there's no way in the world that like building expertise takes time in a specific niche. Once you have like spent a lot of time in that niche, you know the ins and outs of it, and maybe then you can like add more and more skills to it. Again, niching down is not like I'm now a very, very, very specific thing. You can be, of course, but it doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be. Plus, it's everyone we've talked to about this, even the ones who do say they're like more of a generalist, they still say what they find is that when they spend more time on one thing, they realize how much of it they didn't understand initially and how much further in depth you can go in each different thing, and there's a lot of value there.
I mean, there are SEO agencies that only specialize in SEO. There are UX agencies.
There are agencies only specializing in accessibility.
Yeah.
Which is really only understanding like these documents that you can find online. They understand those. They understand how to test that, and they understand how to tell someone what needs to be done, which is a very specific thing.
Yeah.
And there's their whole agencies just for that, so.
I don't know. I disagree with the article.
I disagree with it wholeheartedly. I also disagree with a lot of the examples they put in there, not necessarily with the individuals they put in there, but I just think a lot of them don't even make sense for the points that they're trying to make. I'm sorry, when I initially read this, I thought I just did not agree with it, but I also think it's written really badly.
Yeah, I mean, that's another story. Like I'm not going to go into it, but...
In terms of it, like how the evidence is presented, and then the claims that are made, and then there's no evidence to back it up, and then the conclusion just doesn't even make
But the
sense.
conclusion doesn't make sense. Like that's something that really like what's AI to do with these things now? They should have gotten AI examples. If it's about AI doing the execution and you are like the manager or the prompter in this case.
They also define generalist in 5 different ways in this article. I feel
Yeah,
like.
that's why I got
It's
confused
like,
all the
which
time. Like what
which
do you
generalist are we talking about here? Are we
Yeah,
talking
first-
about the one you mentioned at the beginning, or the one in the middle, or the one at the end?
Yeah, are you the generalist who executes everything? Is it the generalist who have
Manages?
knowledge and then manage it? Because I agree, but then it's not a generalist to
Or
me,
are
it's
you just a
manager.
multidisciplinary person, which I also wouldn't consider a generalist?
No.
I would say we are multidisciplinary because we understand different. We're doing like the educational resource stuff, like content creation, and we're also doing that like stuff we do for our clients. We see the big picture. Like that's multidisciplinary to me.
Yeah.
But like generalist to me is someone who's doing really like lots of different execution work.
Yeah, I guess my beef is with the execution work.
Yeah, me too.
But then they suddenly mention AI doing the execution, so I don't even know what's true anymore. I feel like I'm just ranting about things they might not even mean because they are
Because it's
unsure
just-
themselves what they mean.
It's just written badly. But I don't agree with the overall. I feel like the overall message here is that generalism yay, niching down nay, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And then there's multiple points in this article where they mention the money issue, and why are we clients need to save money? Why are we the ones that need to facilitate
But
that?
they always need to save money.
I know.
Like, I don't know.
It's not new that clients want to save money.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Of course, we can also feel the economical shift that has happened. But at the same time, there was never a big entry barrier for people who are looking for cheap labor.
I know, yeah. Fiverr and stuff has been around forever.
Exactly. So if people wanted cheap labor, they know where to go. Why do you have to suddenly be this person offering everything under the sun for probably cheap? So
Because that's who companies are hiring, Rebecca.
yeah, I guess.
We gotta adapt.
Yeah, maybe we need to pivot into photography. No, I don't know. It's like,
Oh my god, no one wants our web design services. Let's do photography. That's what you do.
yeah, that's what you do according.
Pivot.
But then again, AI should do it, so I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Then again, you should probably get a specialist, so
Okay, learn enough about it and hire a specialist.
I'll get the AI to do it.
Or get the AI.
That's honestly a different point, and that's another, I don't know, another discussion. That's why I don't want to go into it, because I do believe that with AI doing a lot of execution work, you maybe like have an easier entry to all of these disciplines. But that's, I think, a different topic and not what they were saying for the whole article, and then only the bottom conclusion
Yeah.
says something about AI execution. But that's an issue in every field right now, or most fields. So
Do you think this article was written by AI? Honestly, I think even AI would have provided better examples.
No, I don't think so. I think it was tweaked by AI.
You
I mean,
know
I'm
what?
projecting. I would write it and then I would
I'm
run it
gonna
into
I'm
AI.
gonna ask AI to write this article. Like without showing it this article. I'm gonna write an article about how generalists and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, my beef is just with these generalizations and then all this different. I feel like it would have made sense to define what generalist means and then keep to that.
Yeah.
And then the whole article should be about that.
I also think if claims are made, you need to back those claims up and not provide examples that have nothing to do with the claim, or just don't back the claim up, which I think was what they were doing the entire article, which was pissing me off.
Yeah, this was a
Good read.
very good read. Yeah, I want to check out other articles. Maybe we should scan this more often.
I feel
I'll
like
take a
because there's been a couple of times where it's like it's another article they did about AI. I think, did we do that? I feel like we did a reaction video to some AI articles.
Maybe I don't remember.
I can't remember, but like I do feel like I see articles every now and then or things online. I'm like, we should react to that because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we should react to more. I feel like it's interesting,
Yeah.
and also I don't know. I don't want to like demonize this author. I just really think it's for someone who, I don't know, has expertise in the field and has been in this industry for a long time now. This is kind of like a ridiculous take.
Yeah.
And I wish if someone has that take, I think that's fine. I just wish that it had like a better explanation and better examples and like.
That's why I feel like it's rage bait.
Yeah.
I
action
honestly
point,
think
I
it's
don't know.
rage bait because there's nothing to back up what they're saying. You know, if it were a perspective where I would feel like, okay, yeah, they're really like backing this up with some evidence and it all makes sense. I'd be like, I don't agree, but at least I feel like they're making good points. I don't feel like they're making good points. I think they're harming the community, if anything, and I hope nobody reads this and feels like, oh my god, now I need to offer photography as well.
I think that if this was about AI executing and you being like the brain, this would have been a different article and I might have agreed with more things than right now. I think if they would have taken the AI route, I probably would have agreed with way more things.
Usually I wouldn't pick out an article to shit on because like you said, I don't want to like shit on the person who wrote this, but the reason why I wanted to do a reaction video to this article is because I find the content of it harmful to the industry and to the community of like designers.
And it's not even
That
like
already
this is the truth article.
They already struggle with their worth. They already struggle with pricing. They already struggle with positioning. And now you have like a publication that they look at as probably they look up to, telling them, don't niche down now. Don't do what everyone's been telling you to do for the last 10 years. Why have people been telling you this? Because it works. No, do this instead. It's just harmful. And then like the reason behind it, because clients don't want to pay you anymore. What is that? Like, how is that helpful at all? It's rage bait. It has to be rage bait. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't intentional, that's what it is for me. So, yeah. Any more things to say?
I don't know. It's inconclusive. It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
So it's a bit difficult to say what this was really about and what I'm disagreeing with. I'm disagreeing with the whole notion of you are executing everything. I'm not disagreeing with the whole notion of being the manager of things and understanding how things work. That's of course valuable and important. But if you're like hiring an electrician, you're not gonna hire a plumber and expect them to do the electrics of your house. You're gonna hire a plumber and then you hire an electrician. If I hire a construction company, I would expect that they have a specialist for electricians,
electricity.
Thank you, and a plumbing expert.
Yeah.
Like they would handle they would handle everything, but I'm paying a higher price tag. But I wouldn't expect from my plumber to install a new socket.
You gotta pivot. No one wants to pay for plumbing anymore. You gotta pivot. Learn electricity.
Learn electricity. Sure. But yeah, it's basically what this says. And I think if you convert this thinking into other disciplines, you would notice how ridiculous it is.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you want to see more content, then subscribe to our channel.
Let's cut. Are we recording?
Yeah?
Okay.
Are we not?
No, we are. Okay, sorry, you can cut this out. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Bye. Yeah, I feel like we can cut it somewhere at the end.
Okay.
Because we keep like re-ranting about the same things. I think we're going in loops now.
Okay, let's end this video because we are going in circles. Endless circles. Okay, I have to do the outro.
Okay.
Or do you want to try?
No.
Peace.
Peace.